now the informative speech. So, have you ever heard of women getting raped by their coworkers?
Yes.
In the past couple of years, there have been many cases where Bill Cosby has been accused of raping women that were looking for a part in the Cosby Show or were just trying to meet up with him. The problem is that he has been found innocent for the cases, even though there have been many stories coming out. This is something that people should be worried about because no one would be able to sleep at night knowing that the one who raped them is out free. As a young woman, I feel nervous and uneasy when I am walking outside on my own, even if it's in my own neighborhood. By learning about some of the cases of rape that have occurred and some of the reasons society thinks this happens, you will be able to understand why people consider rape to be a serious topic. First, I will share with you some background information about rape, then about some of the major cases that have occurred in recent years, and finally, what society thinks are the reasons why rape happens. So first, what is rape? In order to get a better understanding of rape, we must first understand what it is and who it happens to. Rape is unlawful and sexual intercourse that happens without consent of the victim. It is something that happens against the person's will. They do not get to give their opinion on what is about to happen to them. Rape happens to anyone of any age, whether you're a male or female, a child or adult, or of any race or religion. A lot of people think that a man will not be raped because he is strong and can defend himself. But that is not always the case. There have been some rare cases when a man has been raped. According to an article on WT15.com written by Elizabeth Coles, 1 in 6 male college students reported having been raped. This might not seem like a lot of men because it is only about male college students, but if you look at that number and the amount of women being raped, it is the same number. The amount of men being raped, according to RAINN.org, is 1 in 33. That means that even though they are men and look stronger than women, it is something that can happen to them. Now that we have discussed what rape is and who it happens to, we can now talk about some of the biggest cases of rape that have occurred in the past years. Some of the most talked about rape cases nowadays are the multiple cases of Bill Cosby. First, we will discuss what women were saying and then what the outcomes of these cases were. Bill Cosby has been blamed for raping women several years ago, and so far nothing has happened. He is still out of jail and has had no punishment. Most of the women tell the same story, that he invited them to his home or a hotel room to talk about something that had to do with work. These women say that they eat dinner and have a couple of drinks and then they wake up the next day with no clothing. In an article on Gawker.com written by Dana Evans, she writes about a woman named Barbara Bowman who says that she was raped by Cosby and wanted to testify against him. Evan writes, by the time she was on the plane to Philadelphia, Cosby's lawyers had settled the other woman's case out of court. Even though the woman was the only one accusing him at the time, there have been many other cases before that, so they should have looked into it more and tried to figure out why all of these women are saying the same thing. The outcome of these cases is that he is let go with no punishment, and a lot of people wonder why this happens and start to question the credibility of the accuser. One might think that these women are lying and trying to ruin the life of a well-known star, but what would all these women gain from this if he kept being found innocent? This is why all of these women were afraid to talk, because they knew that no one would believe them. But the reason that he has no punishment is not because they believe he is innocent and hasn't done nothing wrong. It is because what happened to them was so long ago. There are certain rules that apply when it comes to blaming someone for rape. For example, they only have a certain amount of years to make the allegations, but the woman probably think that he should still get some kind of punishment. So after defining rape and some of the cases that have occurred, we can now explore how society defends the ones being accused. Even though rape is a serious topic, there are many people who try to make it seem like the victim is to blame. They might criticize what the victim wears or where she lives. They will make it seem like the victim should have known what could have happened to them while walking out dressed a certain way. A woman should not have to worry about her clothing because she is wearing what she likes to feel comfortable or because it's the dress code for her job. In reality, rape is something that happens randomly no matter what the person looks like. There have been many cases where elderly people have been raped, and it is not because they wore something revealing. Society also makes it seem like if the person is in a dangerous neighborhood, they should know what the possibilities are. This is not true because people who live in nice neighborhoods like Beverly Hills still get attacked. Places that are protected a lot more or have neighborhood watches still get attacked by rapists or thieves. This isn't something that people can avoid. The worst thing about rape is the results to the victim. They might get pregnant or traumatized, or they might change how they act. There is no way of knowing how the person will react or how it will affect their life in the future. Now that we know what happens, what rape is, and how people are affected, we can wrap this up. It is important to know what rape is and why it happens, because this might be able to be prevented. First, I described what rape was, then I mentioned some of the cases that have occurred, and finally I discussed who it can happen to. Rape is something that happens unexpectedly and cannot be prevented. The only way to stop it is to try talking about it and spreading the word on how bad it is and what happens to them at the end. Thank you.